What's up, dude?
How's this Malta feel?
Man, it's cool. I'm just tired. Long flight, but
You almost didn't make it, dude.
yeah, dude. We drove through an ice storm to get to the airport. Only once we got to the airport, they're like, yeah, there's no flights today. So they sent us no emails, no notification, no text. They're just like, yeah, we're shutting the airport down. So we drove back home in the ice storm and then stayed a couple days and then left out basically 48 hours later. But yeah, I knew we were going to be tight coming in, but I forgot about how tired we'd be, just because it's so hard. We had like a 5.5 hour layover in Amsterdam. We got there at 6 in the morning. So then we tried to sleep on the thing and then it was horrible. So we're trying to sleep and Rebecca, I hear her start saying something because people sat down on the other side of the bench and were just talking so loud. But I had to refrain myself from slapping the shit out of somebody. But yeah, then we got here and it was cool. The event was awesome. I hated Kirsten tearing his bicep. That sucked. But the event was cool. Now we're gonna do a hop on, hop off tomorrow where you get on the bus and they take you around and you see different historical stuff.
So you can stay for some days in Malta?
Yeah, we leave early Tuesday morning. So we're here today and tomorrow.
And you're going back to USA?
Yeah, heading
So
straight back.
Just for 2-3 days in a...
As soon as the jet lag kicks in, they back.
That's it. That's how it works. So we're out. What's crazy is, we were just in Istanbul, then we went to Greece, and then we went home for one day, and then I had an influencer event in Texas. So we flew out to do that, flew back home, and then flew here. So we're exhausted. But once we get back home, I got 3 weeks. Is it 3 weeks from yesterday? Yeah, until my left-hand super match with Robbie Toby. Did y'all see that I'm pulling Leonidas?
Yeah.
Left-handed?
Yeah. But then it's going to be here
in Germany. Yeah.
On the nationals.
Yeah, they're national.
On the Pinamo. Yeah.
Pinamo, yeah.
He's left arm.
Yeah. Have you seen those videos? Pinamo.
They're pretty good.
Super good.
I love the production.
Yeah.
Good production, quality.
Very theatrical.
They have this with the strength wars.
Haven't seen
where
it.
two athletes they have like a calisthenic guy and bodybuilder, and they're gonna do like squat with 200 kilos, 15 reps, and things like that.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
So it's a huge channel, and I was always thinking that's a great idea. How can we do it in arm wrestling? And they did it in arm wrestling.
Yeah.
So,
No, I'm excited. I'm really probably bit off more than I can chew because I've got Robbie Topi, and then 7 days later I got Leonidas, and then 14 days later I got Ryan Espy. So I've got three.
All the left arm.
All left arm. So I got 3 high-level super matches left-handed in 21 days. And y'all know my left's not that good. You know what I'm saying? So we just if the elbow and shoulder hold up, I might be able to flash them with some shoulder presses, but.
So we're really looking just to get a couple pins. Maybe not necessarily.
I really do want to win, but we
want
will
to
see.
win.
We will see what happens. But yeah, so and then it's just get home and my thumb muscle still hasn't came back from the nerve damage, but I just gotta get my riser and pronation back working like they were, and I've got to quit being so damn nice in the setup. Like I gotta start fighting. I can't just. I gotta get higher and. I can't have the strap here. The strap here works great if I get a tight strap. But if I get a loose strap, I'm horrible. So I'm gonna have to get the strap down here further and then have better leverage to pull into. I might start capping again, I think too. I've been reaching in and not capping, I think.
So you've been doing this so you can get that lower grip, maybe better grip because your thumb is down. So
every single time I set up, especially the last 2 matches I've lost, my hand is here and their hand is here. And that first stop with Gennady, when I went, any other time in my career I win that match. But with that strap being loose as it was and my hand being where it was, all I had to do was just go. And then once he got me all the way to here, I was screwed. And then I still thought, even though my hand was compromised, I still thought I was going to come back and win. I just never could get any purchase in the match,
He took away too much.
Yeah, I mean, he took away or I gave away, or both.
Yeah.
So I gotta just stop. I gotta stop doing it. I just gotta get back to a lot of it. Devin was right. I gotta get out of my head about what everybody's saying. Oh, King's movie's only strong to keep. Fuck it. I'm King's moving everybody. You know what I'm saying? That's how that works.
That's exactly what we are talking. That it's of course you will hear a lot of critiques but it's still for you. That's a fight. The way how you fight.
Yeah, I mean, as long as I'm doing it within the rules, I gotta quit listening.
Exactly, and there are referees to say who is right or who is not right.
It's always like this, so you can lose with style, or you can win dirty.
Yeah.
So winning is better.
Yeah. I mean, it just got me. I literally just let it get to me, and then I don't know why after all these years I'm listening to other people on how I should train. I mean, I know y'all said I should train differently and everything too, but the last two approaches have not been my approach. I've been taking other people's approaches, and I got to get back to just being me. I got to get back to what works for me, feeling good about me, and that's not going to be being 300 plus pounds. It's going to be 260, 270, ripped up, feeling good, and just.
We almost got everything spot on.
Yeah, I listen to y'all's thing, but that's seriously, it's just. I don't know what it is. I let the trolls get to me, and I'm not saying that's why I lost, but I do believe mentally it affects me. Versus me going in feeling confident, knowing what I got to do. Like I literally took off on the wrong angle. Like I know what I have to do to win. Every high level match I won is straight backward. I don't care about side to side. I just control this, and then the match stops. I have enough riser, and it doesn't matter where I win from. Now I'm hitting this way, and I'm not getting full back. I'm getting stopped. And then I'm getting outwalked. Yeah. So I mean, I'm taking the wrong angles, and it changes the outcome. I don't think there's any strength difference in me and Gennady. I just think he took the right angles and I took the wrong angles, But I have offered to run it back.
To Gennady?
Yeah, I haven't publicly put it out there. I don't think so. I guess you guys will be the first ones. Okay for me to say anything about it? Yeah. So I messaged him and asked him what it would cost to bring him to the United States and pull him on one of my pay-per-view events. Yeah. So I'm just waiting on the numbers.
Okay.
But I would love to run that match back because I heard him say, I don't know if he said it. I heard someone say that he said if I wasn't happy with the outcome, he would happily run it back. Well, I'm not happy with the outcome, so let's run it back. You know what I'm saying? That's how that works.
Yeah, but I believe Gennady will accept that.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
He's an athlete who's not afraid to fight.
Absolutely
It will come down. Who learned more from the first match?
Yeah, and the thing is, I think he's going to be very confident because he's thinking I'm going to pull the exact same way. And although there'll be similarities to how I'm going to pull, it's just he's going to face a different me. He's going to face the old version of me, which is the guy that I think has the best chance.
Okay, how much, because I've been talking to Neil, and Neil is like, it's really dependent on how well you can retrace your steps. Because you've been focused now for so long on pulling different to please others.
Yeah.
You, all in practice, guys, all in training. He was like, I don't even think I'm going to need a King's move. I'm just going to hit sideways all the way to the pad. So he was not even focusing on his back pressure to the back of the pad. So now where is your muscle memory?
Well, I do have to go back. So basically what happened, I'll tell you guys exactly what happened in my training.
How sure are you that you can get back to arm wrestling like you were after you've been undoing it for so long? We're talking about a year.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think it's going to naturally come back because I'm just going to go back pressure versus side back pressure. What happened was, so Corey has a very strong hand, so it's increasingly more difficult to top roll him now than it used to be. So although I will still take his hand sometimes and bust his hands back, I found a lane that I don't have to top roll him. I can just go real aggressive sideways and just smash him in a hook. Well, I started thinking, well, look what Corey does to everybody in a hook. If I'm smashing Corey in a hook, then I can smash everybody in a hook. Well, I just found the lane that worked against Corey. So I got to get back to top rolling. Even if it's more difficult to top roll him, I've got to get back to every time I arm wrestle, I'm going for the hand, I'm going for height, I'm going for pronation. Because I just got very, very confident in the lane that may only work against Corey. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and that's what happened. Yeah, I mean, like when I pulled Ron Bath, and Ron is he's a legend in arm wrestling. But you can't compare Ron Bath's level to Gennady or a 290-pound Devin or Hermes. They're just different levels. So, I got to where I could pull Ron and just rip through his hand. Well, I just assumed I was going to be able to do that to everybody. Well, you can't,
That's a part of training, experiment. And then you always learn, even if it's not working. And most often, if something is not working, it's also learning. Okay, it was not right. I will do it.
Right.
I will do what's working for you or for me. Exactly. And with Gennady, when I was there and you stopped that first hit, and in your eyes we can see that you believe that that's it. You are in fight, and we have seen that I look against Devon, against Denis Stiblenko, against Andre before, that you are in fight. And
he just he walked right out of it. He was saying I was like, wow, that sucks.
Was he speaking English to you in the match? Or?
No, I didn't know what he was saying.
You didn't understand the word.
I think he was trying to tell me to pin him, and I was trying to tell him to pin me. Because if he gets too aggressive trying to pin me, then he can get caught in the trap. And then but I was so far underneath him, me trying to pin him or even transitioning to a press, I never got enough side pressure on his. I never got his hand past his shoulder enough to transition to the press. I just needed more fatigue in his bicep, and it just wasn't getting there. But yeah, it was cool.
Not enough control here. Yeah.
Nah, I didn't have any hand control, but
That's
we're gonna work on it.
So that's the match you want? Huh?
I would like that. There's a lot. I mean, I didn't know what I wanted. Like I was gonna pull Todd Hutchins April 30th at my house, and that might still be the next match. I've ever since all this stuff's going on in Russia and Ukraine, I don't know what's going to happen with England proposed a match, and I don't know what's going to happen with it or not. That was going to be in May, middle of May. He was going to go ahead and move East versus West 3 to
and then
4 was going to be in August. But so I don't know. I know we want to get home and just focus on training, focus on getting healthy. For us, something that's important to us. But yeah, I mean, I'd like that match. Just for me, just to prove to myself.
Yeah.
If he beats me, yeah, great. Whatever. Okay, you're right. I'm wrong.
Maybe you need a little more time.
See, that's what Neil said. Rebecca was talking to Neil, and he thinks I need more time just to get my head right.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Don't sometimes you rush. You're like, I can change. I know the lane. Give yourself time. Focus on that lane, and then sometimes rush decisions. Sometimes running straight back to back. It's not good. Yeah. But again, he can be overconfident.
I think he'll come in more confident for sure, which could definitely benefit me if I do what I think I can do. But like I said, it's not important. We got to see. I'm gonna be honest. If the first pay-per-view does not do well, I don't know if I'm gonna be running them back. But we'll see. It's all fun. I'm having a good time. So you guys are coming to the States April 23rd?
Yes, we're bowling in Phoenix, Arizona. Corey Miller, Artem Taranenko.
Yeah. So how's that gonna go?
Latvia wins. Sweet.
There you go.
I'm gonna lose a few rounds. I'm cool with that.
Actually, I have no much information about Corey Miller. I have just met him once or seen him once in 2010 in WAF World Championship. He was pulling 70 kilos, and that's probably the only time I have seen him. There are not too much videos even with pulling with him. There are few, so I don't know much to expect. But
when we talk with Americans, like they want Janis to come, but Janis has pulled most of the top guys there in his class, and Corey is the guy that they want. Corey, Sam Harris is still open, and we don't know how Sam Harris is doing. If Double L comes back, that match was on the table, but it didn't happen. So I don't know. But
what do you weigh?
170 pounds. It's 77 kilos.
Yeah, that's Corey. Corey's 80 kg.
Yeah, a little more. They talked 79?
Yeah, I talked with Bob Brown 3 days ago or yesterday. And he said Corey is 81 kilos, I think.
Yeah.
It's about the same, and it should be under 176 or under 175. Weight category. And
You okay?
not many, but there are people who are saying that Corey right now is based in USA under 176.
Possibly. But I can't think of who we have right now that's probably
I don't know. Jeff got injured in the armor, so I don't know what Jeff is.
Jeff got injured?
pulling Janis. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's already on video.
Yeah, it's already out there. Yeah.
Okay.
And,
No, that's not the Iron.
It was in
yeah.
Or not Iron, whatever it's called. Yeah, Iron House. Yeah, this was at the one.
Reality check.
Yeah.
Arnold.
Yeah, there's supposed to be a 4-man thing, and he hurt in the first round.
Well, you're just an ass.
He's a bully.
These Europeans out there injuring Americans.
Right.
So mean.
Oh, no. It was nasty. Same thing happened with Ryan Espy. They're so
Dude.
strong.
Yeah.
Um,
Gurdetch is strong.
That's really strong.
How do you think that's gonna go? Is that match
Is
gonna
that
be
match still going to happen? Is Vitaly in Russia? Is he going to be able to get out? Because we started thinking that match may not happen now.
Yeah,
Because they may not let him out of Russia.
maybe. Yeah.
Because
Because they're traveling.
Yeah.
First of all,
Other countries are not allowing Russians to enter.
and one also Kudecha is particularly he's competing for Poland, but he's out of Ukraine.
but he lives in Poland.
Yeah, but he's Ukrainian as well.
Prodigy is Ukrainian.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen there.
Yeah, I don't.
I did
It's
not
a
know.
tough one.
I did not either. I thought he's Polish. Yeah, because he's always been promoted as part of Poland. You know.
But we know Prudnik is in Poland.
Pruden is in Poland with his wife and
Yeah.
children. Yeah.
Many Ukrainians are.
It's terrible. Yeah, it's hard to figure out what's going to happen. Because at one point, even though we want to pull and we're all arm wrestlers, but a lot of leagues will just say it's not because of you, it's because of the stance. The stance is sorry, Ryan.
Really?
Not today.
Yeah, it's crazy times, man. Crazy times right now. I'm gonna be honest. We didn't know what to think about. We had the ice storm, and then the very next day we work. Like I don't know if we should go. This could be a sign. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to keep us from going, but yeah, I don't know, man. And then the Germany match is a month from now. So I'll be coming back in a month.
Yeah.
And whether things have escalated or not, you just don't know. I mean, everything's up in the air for me. I don't know what's gonna happen. So I don't know what all we're gonna do.
We go from like Corona to war.
Right. Corona's been crazy. 2 years of just
2 years, it's
been
not
weird.
2 years would be weird. But
Yeah, the 2 years, man, it was just trying to train that long for the anticipation of the match. I think it took its toll on me. Like it wore me down. So now I gotta start having fun again.
this way you have
Yeah.
20,000 matches in 3 days.
Exactly.
That's why you started pulling matches.
Yeah.
We're like, who cares?
Yeah, if I lose left, who gives a shit, right? You know what I'm saying, right? But it's just I miss the competition. Like the cool trophy you got. I miss the competition, traveling, and I told her we might hop in the RV and go maybe 3 weeks in a row and hit a tournament every weekend or something. But hell, if gas prices, they're saying gas prices are going to get outrageous in the United States.
Yeah.
Now, that might be the same gas prices y'all have here, but it's outrageous back home because you have to drive so far. We're so used to driving so far. And my RV gets 5 miles per gallon, so that's bad.
5 miles per gallon.
It's so bad. It's so bad. But so yeah.
It's not a green vehicle at all.
It is not. It is not.
It is really
calls
bad.
global warming.
I'm the guy.
Yeah, you're the guy.
My nationwide tour did it.
Back to Armwrestling.
Yeah.
That's a better subject.
In your mind, your next like plans, next step, be healthier, lose weight, change style, and become #1 arm wrestler in the world, unlimited weight class.
Well, here's the deal. Okay, so I'm not going to proclaim that that's my goal. The goal is get healthier, get back to what I do best. Obviously, lose body fat, be leaner, be fitter, be happier.
Yeah.
And if it manifests itself in an opportunity to become overall #1 in the world, absolutely. But I'm not going to put so much pressure on myself. What happened is I gave myself 12 months because of the protocol, the pancake protocol, that I was going to be this crazy version in 12 months. And I kind of realized after 4 or 5 months that I didn't like that protocol. I didn't like who I was, how I was feeling. So I was rushing the goal, right? And obviously, this was a big setback, the Gennady thing. So instead of trying to keep all that pressure on myself to chase that #1, I'm just gonna let whatever happens, happens. So, but at first, I do know that I will be back to a healthier, fitter version of me.
Can you measure somehow your lifts in the gym, your results with weights, and compare how strong you are, or when you pull, for example, Devon before,
Okay, so
or Gennady right now, or Devon before, I don't know, in 2008 in
So the
Manchester.
strongest I've been in my arm wrestling preparation was when I pulled Dave Chafee in 2013.
Yeah.
All my gym numbers were the best they'd ever been.
In Richmond.
In Richmond, yeah. Which I was very nervous about that match, and then it ended up being a lot less difficult than I thought because I was in very good form, right? But this last preparation, I just listened to Devin, and I did very minimum amounts. He said, just train and get healthy. Well, for one, it didn't give me any confidence that I was strong because I hadn't done anything in the gym to prove that I was strong.
Yeah.
So I'm going back to what I previously did, which was I start prepping however far out, increasing the weights, increasing the numbers, doing the same workouts, but making sure that I'm beating my previous best. And if I can beat my previous best in training, then in my mind, that's got to be the best me, right? Now, there are a couple of things I'm going to go back to doing that I used to do years ago. Heavy curling. I used to do heavy curling. I quit doing heavy curling. I even got me a new strict curl bar where the hands are turned more this way, more for like a hammer. So I think when I get home, Wednesday, Corey and I are going to do, just to find out what our baseline is, a strict curl video and a seated curl video. Now,
please, no bicycles, please.
No, okay, right? But yeah, so the thing is for me, although like Larry can seated curl more than pretty much anyone we've seen so far. I mean, real close to Levon's weight. Did you see the new thing he did? It was almost what Levon did?
Yeah.
But still doesn't make him the best arm wrestler in the world. So we know doing these exercises aren't going to make him the best arm wrestler in the world. But if you already know how to arm wrestle and you increase strength in those movements, it's got to help, right? And then I'm actually going to get back to, and I know this doesn't play a role in a lot of people's arm wrestling, but it's always made me stronger for my transitional press. And with my side, I'm going to get back to, I would like to, by the end of the year, get back to a 500-pound bench. Because I was really strong in 2016 when I was prepping for the Zloty tour, and then I tore my lat, and then 12 days later I tore my pec. Yeah. If you see the training video of me and Devin in Northwest Arkansas, like 3 weeks before that, Devin's like, "You're the strongest I've ever been," because I was just crushed. And I was planning on being really, really strong, and then tore my lat, tore my pec. So I haven't pitched anything heavy over like maybe 4.25, 440 since then. So I would like to get back to where I'm consistently doing a nice heavy bench, heavy curls, and just doing my hand wrist, my riser, my pronation. Maybe watch a couple of y'all's videos and see some of the different risers and pronation things y'all do. But just consistently, I was telling her I'm gonna spend a lot more time in the gym because back home, have y'all been following that we one of our third brand partners at an excavation company. So we have a 5.7 acres property. So all the way around the property, we're gonna do a big obstacle course. So yeah, hopefully by the end of this month, we'll have a full course done and with different like monkey bars and climbing types and pull-up stations and push-up stations. So it'll be a 1 mile course that you'll run and you'll do training across the course. So it'd be like fun, like I'm not gonna get on the road and run, but if you get me in an obstacle course.
How about we do this?
Yeah. And then when we do collaborations, like if you guys make it out in April, y'all can run the course as well. I think it's gonna be fun. It'll be good training. It's just an addition to what I'm really gonna be doing. Just fun exercise, just being active.
I think all those, for me, the heavy lifts. I feel like my bench, like I injured my either pec or shoulder, and I haven't been benching more than 70 kilos for quite some time. So my press went down. I know that, but when I'm benching heavy, I usually press more and I have more confidence.
You do?
Because you're strong.
Yes.
If I deadlift more, I always have more confidence.
So I did buy the Hex deadlift bar because I feel like I'm less likely to do a bicep tear deadlifting this way. Yeah. So I want to get back into that. I just want the core strength back. Yeah. I'd like to get some big numbers under my belt just for me. Like, how old are you? What's your age?
I'm 40, I'll be 41 this year.
Yeah, so I turned 49 in 3.5 months, right? So part of this is at nearly 50 years old, I want to be the best shape I can be as strong, so a lot of this is just overall general health. I can't see anything.
Okay. Okay.
I love you. And you had something come up, so I missed the last 3 words, babe.
She's doing that.
Yeah, I think you're pretty though. I think you're pretty.
Edit my ass out of that video.
But yeah, so.
But about strength, it's of course, it's always, I have said many times before, it's general strength, it's specific strength. If you build good general fundament, this fundament for pyramid, it's always you can reach better specific strength, and it's of course a strong bench or strong deadlift will not you make directly stronger in arm wrestling, but that's a fundament for later gains in arm wrestling.
I agree.
It's a general strength as well, especially if you have long experience in arm wrestling, you have all coordination, all specific muscle groups working, and when you are generally stronger, you can reach your maximum and in specific lifts as well, and it correlates well with arm wrestling, of course.
Once you know how to arm wrestle, then I think all strength matters. It may be minimal, but if you can get stronger anywhere, once you already have the specifics of arm wrestling, then I think it helps. But also, so much of this, you guys both know, so much of it's mental. If you mentally feel strong, it translates.
You know, when you lift it, let's say, like you said, like 500 pounds, you did 500 pounds bench press, and now you're doing 400 pounds. You're coming into the match thinking you're 100 pounds weaker.
Right.
That's in your back of your head. Yeah.
Even if it's not, I mean.
Even if it's not important.
Right.
It's still there.
Corey's very much that way. So Corey has done a 550 bench, and if he's anywhere near a 500, it doesn't matter if everything else is strong. If his bench isn't there, he doesn't feel as strong. And mentally, he defeats himself. You know.
Yeah, and it's similar with all curls and wrists and risers. Like you said, if you found that those like assist exercise are helping for you, and you are improving in all those assist exercise, how can your main move or main exercise, which is arm wrestling for us, how can it not improve? Of course it will improve. If you have found that all those assist exercises are helping you.
We usually do like a week before Janis, so we'll do heavy bench just to test it out or something.
Do you really?
One rep just. And if you're 10% where you know you're strong. We do usually.
Before competitions.
Before competitions, week out first usually.
I prefer to do not only bench. I usually do like some deadlift or sometimes even squat for neural system to turn on before competition. 7-5 days. I have done some squat in the morning even before competition, just to work up to like close to 1 rep max squat in morning before competition. And it's also works good for my neural system.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, you're in a battle mode.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, lot of athletes who for example, some track bicycle cyclers, sprinters. They could do some really max effort bench press right before they sprint, and it helps as well for the neural system.
It's the opposite.
The opposite muscle. Well, except for me, the legs would be for King's move. You know, so I'd be wearing out my legs.
It's not like you're pushing up. You have to pull up.
It's that static pressure, right? That would fatigue.
In 2 years, your hamstring is going to be like this.
Massive.
You're going to have hooks in your legs.
I'm just going to pull you to me.
Who is strongest ever arm you have felt or hand you have ever felt on tables?
I'm going to be honest and still say it's 2017 Pushkar.
Andre Pushkar.
Pushkar in 2017 was the strongest human I'd ever grabbed. So a lot of people like, well, who would win between Voda or Simplenkov? Simplenkov. You know, the peak Simplenkov versus the peak Voda, Simplenkov. The peak Pushkar versus the peak Voda, Pushkar. You know, the Voda was amazing at his time, but I feel like that there have been so many guys that had reached a level higher since then. You know,
I think he didn't stay long enough to get this.
Well, no.
He didn't stay long enough to, you know.
And the 2004, the whole pulling Johns is like that John Brazine lost to Ron Bath 3 weeks before.
Yeah.
I mean, Travis beat him and Ron Bath beat him. So that wasn't the best John Brazine.
If he would stay a year or two longer, he would have
Absolutely,
maybe one of the best John.
Yeah. Oh, even Wood himself, he lost with Travis Bagent year before in USA.
Yeah.
He was pulling. It was crazy match with Andrei Pushkar, 18 years or 17
Yeah, mid wrist press.
Yeah, and he was 18 years old at the time, or 17 years old, and you can see that 17 years old Andrei is in same level with Voivoda, and it's just like a year or half year before that.
I think that the whole legend of Voivoda is a little bit.
Well, I will
just
say
because of the move.
Yeah, I will say this. I think he's the greatest athlete our sport's ever seen.
Yeah.
Because who could be such a world-class level in arm wrestling and then an Olympic gold medalist in bobsled? Two completely different disciplines. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be a badass athlete. And anybody who's human flag at 275.
And
those pull-ups.
And it's no question about potential.
No.
He could be one of great, and he's one of best ever. But he could be even more and greatest. But his time in sport is short, and if I'm really a critic, then it was not best time for other athletes to show that
the highest level.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still amazing. But I get to ask the question all the time because I've arm wrestled everyone, right? You know, I mean, I haven't arm wrestled Levon, I haven't arm wrestled Vitali, so those are guys that I haven't arm wrestled yet. But if you take every top guy in the last decade prior to this generation of arm wrestling, I've arm wrestled everybody, and I've pinned pretty much everyone. You know, like Denison Plinkoff has pinned me 5 times and beat me once on fouls, and I've pinned him 3 times. I'm the only American to pin him other than John Brzezinski. Dave Chafee won the 1 round on fouls, which he probably would have pinned him that round. But John Brzezinski pinned him, and John Brzezinski pinned him in 2008 and 2009. So I'm the only one that's pinned the 2011, 2016, some Plinkoff was me. But I don't know. It's just, I can't, and that's the other thing, is I can't live on past accomplishments. You know, in my opinion, my career, I've done enough. I don't have to even be doing anything now to be chasing it, but I just want it, you know?
Just like it.
I just want it, you know? So it comes down to...
It's like we said, like, Michael's going to retire from arm wrestling. No one retires from arm wrestling.
There's no such thing. I mean...
And what do you have to say to those who are saying, oh, Mike should retire, he lost against Damon, lost against Gennady?
Well, I mean, there's nothing I can't say, because regardless of what I'm going to say, someone's going to hate me for it, you know what I'm saying? So, it's just, the ridiculous stuff is people saying that I should cut down to... I've seen comments say that I should cut down to 210 pounds. I'm like, Ray weighs that. How the hell am I going to make 210 pounds? Like, I can't make 210. It's not possible. And I really believe, even when I'm ripped and shredded, I'm still a 260 pound super
I
heavyweight.
remember you were 240.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I was 240.
I remember that, 2008, 2009,
around long.
Yeah. I mean, So,
like really lean and drops and you can
so
say.
this is the goal.
What were you 2012?
260.
Pushkar?
260. Yeah. But this.
I thought you were 248 when you were box jumping big trash cans and stuff.
No, 260.
So you were like veins everywhere.
Oh no, I shredded. I got 5 minutes.
You were in
So that's 200. I don't think I could get much more fit than that. That's 260 pounds.
260.
Yeah. So if I get back to that, you know, for one, I'm gonna feel really good. Like just when you look good, you feel good, right? But once I get fit,
I
like
don't know. Giannis knows.
yeah, Janis walking around like that all the time.
Giannis,
But you know, for me, it'll be a sense of accomplishment to look like that. But then there'll also be that version of me that's, you know, that when I do win the match, I have no problem ripping my shirt off because I look like a freak. You know, that's something that's gonna be. I mean, I aspire to.
You will ask your manager first.
I'll say, sweetheart, is it okay?
He's like,
I'll say I've never seen you rip your shirt off in a match. Why would you start now?
That's what she would say. Views, baby, views. We're in a time of views. Whatever it takes for views.
clicks. All we need is clicks.
We need a good thumbnail. You know? But yeah, so I don't know, man. I just, like I said, for me now, I'm just gonna have fun. Because so much of it was just pressure that I put on myself. I'm like, oh, I can't lose 2 in a row. If I lose 2 in a row, well, fuck, it's not the end of the world. I lost 2 in a row. Big deal. You know, shit happens.
It's like it's not even arm wrestling. It's casual fans make these comments.
Oh yeah.
Not even casual fans. They just saw 3 videos on YouTube and they think they know arm wrestling. And they think it's the best one I had was like, it's like, yeah, in UFC if you lose 3 in a row you get out of it. It's not UFC. It's arm wrestling.
Yeah.
You know, we can arm wrestle way more than they can fight. So,
well, that's it.
everyone loses.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I don't like waiting so long to compete. I don't want to arm wrestle twice a year.
Yeah.
I want to arm wrestle every other month, or more frequent than that. The waiting, I hate it sounds horrible, but it's hard for me to stay motivated that long. Like, it's just, the routine becomes very monotonous.
Yeah.
Like I love the training, but I need to compete.
I think
I need to compete,
You know how you just had competition, you pretty much you get home and you start thinking how you're going to train for the next one, or
Right.
where you're going to improve, or what worked, what didn't work. You know, it's all the time. Especially honestly, we're obsessed. We're obsessed. So we cannot have like these long, like again, we're not fighters.
Right.
We're arm wrestlers. We can arm wrestle like efficiently. You can pretty much arm wrestle every month. You know.
I think so. I think honestly, I don't think you have to have this long prep to get ready.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a good arm wrestler, you can arm wrestle next month. If someone said you had a big match next month, you'll be ready.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I will too.
Yeah.
Ray was pulling yesterday, and we were flying here, and he was still just. I will do a commentary, and Zoltan Geszewski was not able to get here, and okay, 2 days before fight. Okay, I'm ready.
Well, if I knew there was a trophy, I'd have taken your spot.
Yeah.
On Wednesday before we're leaving, we had like huge practice. Got birthday on
Ray
Tuesday.
birthday, and
Yeah, happy belated birthday.
yeah.
And so everyone came in, and Janis was there. We were just like blasting the arms.
3-4
Walls
hours
there.
arm wrestling and
Yeah.
sauna, everything.
Then
not
I
only-
went home, slept for 2 hours. We got on plane, landed here.
Yeah.
And they're like, Zoltan, can I get? And I was like, I can arm wrestle. I can arm wrestle. You know, if I knew this, I would take a week off, and I would be even better.
Right.
I would probably be even better. But yeah.
How much time do you guys need to take off before a big match? Is it a week?
It's question of what you do or what you not to do, and of course you change things this transition period before competition, and also it's not always same. It's how was your preparation, how was it training cycle, but generally I don't arm wrestle for last 7-10 days. Or at least I'm not arm wrestle for 100%. I maybe do some grip training. I still work out. I always stay active. I'm not hitting my max efforts in specific exercise for last 7-10 days. But still, like I said, I could do even some squat close to max, just even day before or in morning. But usually I don't do it so close. I do it like 5-7 days before. But I still, because I used to train almost every day,
Right.
so I feel much better when I stay active. I do some exercise, do some general training, just do some exercise of floor or calisthenic exercise.
Yeah.
But I stay
I will
active.
usually do like Monday and like Saturday usually is the competition day.
Yeah.
So Monday, Tuesday, still working out, still heavy, but not hitting bigger max than the previous week.
Right.
So you're not overexhaustion, you know. So you kind of stay hungry, and then it's pretty much 2-3 days of warm up, just warm up. Usually shoulders, everything else, just warm up.
Yeah.
And that's it. You want to be active.
You?
Okay, so prior to the match with Devin, every prep in the last decade, I would hit my, whatever that circuit was, it'd be a PR workout the Friday, the week before the competition.
Okay.
So if the competition's Saturday,
So it's
or,
8 days before.
yeah, so if the competition's Wednesday, because it's WAL on Wednesday, my last workout would be that Tuesday, and I would rest until, now I do cardio every day. Like I still do cardio on the off days. But it was literally, my PR workout was the one 8 days before the match. And then I quit doing that leading up to Devin. Because it's not all Rebecca, but it's Corey, it's everybody. Don't get injured.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
But because
Let's talk about
I
that.
do stupid shit when it gets close. I'm like,
Everybody knows you do that.
yeah, and I end up getting injured.
But especially the last week, because you're so tight. This is
Yeah.
why we don't go over.
Yeah.
Like week before, like 2 weeks before is the PR season, and then maybe something, but not exertion.
Yeah, so me, I don't arm wrestle 14 days out. My last arm wrestling session is 14 days out, and my last workout's 8 days out, right? But that last workout, and I'm telling you, that's how I did it every one except for Devin, except for Gennady, was my heaviest week was that week, and then I would just rest. And then when it was Devin, I heavy weeked 3 weeks out. Then I did lighter, then I took a week off. So I'm not doing those. I'm just gonna go all out, and my heaviest week will be on my 8th day, my heaviest work, and then I'll just do what I do. Now I might end up doing squats because like the day before the morning. I mean, I like that idea. Fire resistance, nervous system. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you the best practice I've had was at December 11th when I was commentating the King of the Table 2. We had flown to California. Do y'all know who Eric is? He's a huge YouTuber, 4 million subs, something like that. He flew us out to Los Angeles to do this quick little video. It was literally a 24 to 26 hour turnaround. We flew out there, flew back. Flight got canceled because of thunderstorms. We had to rent a car from Dallas, drive in. I got like 3 hours sleep. Then I had to get up and do that. And then I had to practice at the house. And that was the strongest I've been in practice yet. So I had 3 hours sleep, and it was the strongest. And Rebecca was like, apparently not sleeping worked for you because I was freaking sleeping.
Sometimes it does.
Yeah, I mean.
Because again, your central nervous system is active.
Yeah.
Something that small sleep, that's, that nap.
Yeah. But yeah, the adrenaline kicked in. Plus, I did just get through watching, Devin and John and everything, so I was hyped up. I had a house full of people, so I went out there and was really strong.
You pulled John before John and Derek Smith was at
John's house.
We were at John's house.
Yeah.
How do you feel, John? And
John felt strong. So we didn't do any ready goes. I think on a ready go, I could expose his hand. I think I could hit real fast and probably get a fast pin on him because when I hit, I can walk real well. And I think John would be too busy trying to catch, and I could get his hand that way. He came real, like one time we were pulling slow, boom, and he came in and pressed. And then after that, I would get enough of his hand and wrist in the strap to where he would try real hard to press and he would miss it, and then it messes the wrist up. John said previously in a couple of interviews that he'd like to arm wrestle me, so I think that'd be a fun one. That'd be a good match to have. And it's John Brazing, right? So why not? And it's not an untrained John. Like this is John in good form. What he did to Zoliev was impressive. Now I don't think Zoliev was the same Zoliev that beat Hutchings because he got injured at Worlds, but still, for John to be that dominant, that was very impressive. So John still has a great hand and wrist.
I feel that the Devon's match pushed him.
I do. I think the Devon match I think he went real hard to get real strong for Devon.
I always
and John's a person who can maintain strength real well.
And I remember thinking like, he's watching you facing Devon, and he's like, I want some of that.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, it must be great.
Yeah. Nah, he's special for sure. But yeah, I don't know I think I would win. I don't know if I would win every round, but especially over 5 or 6 rounds, I don't think he'd have enough to pin me multiple times. I think his wrist. I think I'd compromise him eventually, and it'd be over.
So I just heard something. Talking back here from the corner, just heard something when you were talking about what you would do versus John. You said you think you could do what on go?
Okay, so she's back to telling me I should just pull straight back pressure and quit trying to do what I'm thinking.
Because I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. I've listened. I'm the wife that I hear it all. Okay. You were overconfident. You trained with a partner that allowed you to find the lane, and so you believed you could do that to everyone.
I did.
In your head, I know what was going on. You already imagined crowd standing up and cheering. Michael's awesome because he just beat Gennady in a hook. Something like that. That lie is still in your head.
Yeah,
You still are imagining something like that happening, and you just sat there instead. You think you could basically flash John Brazing?
No, I think outside the strap, I could walk John's hand in the hit and get a win on it. I've said that from day one, though. Except now he listens and he watches videos, so maybe I can.
So how should you pull John? Because John even said in his video, he thinks you've gotten away from what made you strong.
Look, I understand. I mean, I hear what you're saying. But the only win I've ever had on John Brazing in my life was when I flashed him in the top rope. He held on. I was trying to slip, right? So we're both 215 pounds with the ruler of the nation in Kansas City. And so I'm just grabbing John's hand and I'm going to try to slip. Well, I hit as hard as I can and he just holds on all the way to the pad. Like instead of slipping with me, he just held on and I flash pinned him. I'm like, wow, that's cool. And then my dumbass round finals, I'm undefeated against John Brazing. I'm like, hey, you want to go on the strap? And he's like, yes. I was like, oh shit, that was stupid.
So
and then I hit and bounced off and he got me.
When you're hitting this sideways, have you, like when you went against Gennady and the way that you were hitting Corey, is that all straight sideways or are you also applying back pressure like Godzilla?
It's back pressure and sideways, but I cannot pull the world's elite with side pressure. I've got to pull them with back pressure. I have to control hand peg to hand peg center. And once I can stop the match, and the match is dead center, and my risers, still engaged until, not compromised, and my pronation's engaged, then I can win every match from there. If the match stops that way.
I love what you're saying, but you do realize that you just said something that someone over in India is going to absolutely love. You just said.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Shout out to Pradeep.
Yeah.
About side pressure, it's also with all your injuries. Your arm, you can show how close you can get. That's it. It's always what I'm talking about. It's biomechanics. And if you are so far away from your arm, you just need to add 2 times more or even 3 times more side pressure to those who are able to get closer. You are not getting any advantage with your mechanics.
It's horrible disadvantage.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
So to face someone who can pull here, or you are here, and you need to add the side pressure, you have to be at least 2 times stronger than your opponent. So that's why it's almost, I wouldn't say impossible for you, but it's a really disadvantage for you to go with someone.
You need to be way stronger.
Yeah, so that's why you're using what you have.
Yeah.
But about you and John, we have seen super matches you and Devon many times or a few times. We have seen super matches John and Devon a few times.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, why not me and John?
Exactly.
I think it'd be fun. And like you said, he's interested in it. I'm definitely interested in it. So.
And especially for you, it would be, I think, good motivation because you really, just like you said, just once you have won against John
One time.
One time.
Yeah.
So
we pulled many times in tournaments.
Yeah, and
I want to
always-
beat him once.
always, yeah.
So it'd be fun to see if things have shifted. It'll be nice to find out. But yeah, I'm sure that is actually a match that could happen this year. There's actually been one promoter who wants it to happen, but I don't know if he can make it happen or not. But
There's so many matches.
there's a lot.
There's so.
So think about that. Even if I'm not chasing overall number in the world currently, there is a shit ton of matches for me. I mean, like I said, I can pull Todd Hutchins, I can pull John Brazil.
But that's why
I
it's
can
so
pull-
ridiculous
yeah.
that people are like, well, he should retire. Retire from what? Retire from being paid to arm wrestle?
Yeah,
And people still want to pay you
that's
to
a
arm
smart
wrestle?
decision.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let's just quit
Or are
now.
they talking about just retiring from chasing number 1?
No, they're stupid. They're saying retire in general.
I think
Yeah, they're just saying I should quit. Yeah, they
soon as
tired of
you
seeing
lose-
this pretty face,
You
honey.
lose one, you're done.
Yeah, you can win for 10 years in a row.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
I think the weirdest thing was like straight after when you lost to Devon because you were ranked
My
number
stock
2.
went from here to like I should
And
quit.
they're like, I don't think Michael is in top 10. I'm like, how did you just from what? Where's the information coming from here?
Let's say with Levan right now.
Yeah.
Someone saw a photo and when Levan seems not so huge. Like,
Not so
and,
huge.
okay, I see he's lost his weight and okay,
Yeah.
he's probably somewhere 5-6 in a row right now in the
Yeah.
rankings. Out of top 3 for sure. And, like
And
what?
now
You
you-
saw a photo where he's not so huge or
Yeah,
what?
and he steps on scales 175.
Yeah.
Of course, he's maybe not in peak form. He doesn't need to be.
Right, it's not match time yet.
Yeah. But it's so ridiculous, you know.
No, the funniest part of all of the rankings to me right now is that Michael loses a match. Devin hasn't even arm wrestled, and he falls. Devin drops in the rankings.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were big
Michael
on
sucks, so Devin clearly sucks as well.
yeah.
This is this is not I. This is we. This is communist.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's good times. But honest opinion, Devin versus Levon.
I think Levon. I
Levon.
think it's too much.
Okay, so I think Levon as well. But you cannot say Devin's got zero
Yeah,
chance.
yeah.
You're like, oh, 0 chance for Devin.
No,
No.
It's
There's
Devin.
at least a 30% chance that Devin can do some crazy shit. Because the dude,
Absolutely.
telling you, he's different up here. He's different.
And I don't think Devin's had, Levon has had anybody screw with his hand as much as he's going to have Devin do it.
Well, I mean, you
In the setup.
know that King of the Table rules are different than EAF and WF.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's just different.
Yeah.
And Devin is the master at getting in your head and working your hand. And did you see the first match of me and him? False start. So he false starts, and as he's coming back up, he takes the strap in the air, cinches it down. I'm underneath him like this.
Yeah.
No one notices it. I don't notice it. So you get back up here to start, and He has already cinched me completely underneath the strap, you know. He false started on purpose.
I love he starts and he doesn't let go. And if you fight at the end, he tried to do the same to Dennis was very smart. Dennis was super smart.
Oh yeah. And then people want to make that comparison. Well, look what Dennis. It was left-handed. Dennis's left is insane. And that was a 250-pound Devin versus that Devin that showed up in Dubai was different.
Yeah.
You know, that was a different human. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, really, because Devin is one of he has nothing to lose. Nothing. You know, the Europeans already think he has no chance, right? So he's going into this thing with one opportunity. One is that like the M&M's? That's about to start singing a song.
It's so hard. I think it's so hard. It's just going to be a tough challenge. What do you think? He should top roll or what would be better lane for Devin to get into the?
Okay, so I think Devin's he'll King's move if he has to. He will test his frame and just commit as hard as he can and just try, because I mean all he wants to do is do this. He either wants to do this or he wants to do this. So if he can get Levon's wrist to do this, he'll bleed him. And if he can get him to do this, he'll bleed him. But if Levon stays here, he's screwed. Like if he keeps this, if Levon keeps this, he's got nothing. But if Levon goes to pin and he gets this in the King's move, because that was my plan. You know, that my whole objective is ready to go as hard as I can, straight back, get the strap, slip, and then hard back. And even if I'm here, as long as his wrist goes.
His hands like this.
As long as his wrist does that, you know.
He grabs you like this, like two hands.
He got a big hand.
He got a big hand. So that's a huge advantage also. Because it's hard,
and it's strong.
And it's strong.
It's not just a big hand. It's one of those.
The thing that he did to Dave, that was so impressive. Just denying everything straight from the center.
Yeah.
Not even a slip.
It was impressive. It was impressive. Now, Dave ran into something he's not used to running into. Someone who's actually physically stronger than him.
Yeah.
Dave is not the best skilled arm wrestler.
Yeah.
He's just usually the stronger arm wrestler, right? So it is not the same comparison if you compare Dave and Devin.
Yeah.
Because Devin may not be the strongest arm wrestler, but he's probably the most skilled arm wrestler. You know?
Tricky bastard.
Yeah, very tricky bastard. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see. I'm actually, like I said, hopefully this match with Gurdecha and Vitali gets to happen. Now, how do you think that goes?
Lately, Gurdecha is so impressive.
Very.
And he's improving. And we haven't seen much from
We did
Vitali.
see Vitali destroy
Last
Crosby.
time when Vitali was pulling was 2 years.
No, he pulled Crosby in.
Okay, still, Crosby, But
When Crosby believed he was strong going into that, and Vitali just
But it's stylistically
it's
totally
too
different. Totally different. Krasi is the one who tries to get inside, which is almost impossible with Vitali. We haven't seen that happening for
He's
years.
technically so polished, his technique is so good that he will have always that advantage. Like he knows where he will go.
But we have seen before that someone takes Vitali's hand. We have seen that.
This is the thing. Everything that Vitali has, Gurdecha matches him in frame. So he's as big of a human being, right?
Yeah.
So all the leverage advantage, all those things.
Yeah.
Now, what makes me think Gurdecha has a very real chance, do you remember the after pulling session that's on YouTube about a minute and a half long of Gurdecha and Vitali after 2019?
Mm-hmm.
Gurdecha destroys him. And that's back when Gurdecha was getting beat by Angrabaya and everybody. Because he matches the leverage very, very well. So if you take let's take practice session or whatever, but if you take anything from the fact that he was folding up Vitali's wrist bad. So if you think Gurdecha is much, much better now, and he matched up with him very well then, Gurdecha could run off with this. Because
the most impressive part of Gurdecha was him versus Chris George. Where usually, George
now Devin, I talked to Devin about that.
Yeah.
And Devin's like, that's not as impressive as how bad he beat Rick Heidelberg. Because he said George has fallen off a lot. George has fallen into the same trap that I have, and he's tried not King's moving people as much. And he's losing to people in Ottawa in the same weight. And the Crazy George doesn't lose to people in the same weight, much less in the same province, right? But he said that Rick Heidelberg how badly he was destroying him. Devin was more impressed with that. He said because Rick gives Devin some fits sometimes. He's like, what I saw him do to Rick, he's free.
He's getting better, like really fast. Like him versus SBO, so impressed. Like as soon as there was goal, SB's arm stayed here, his wrist just went backwards all in a second. And even with Hermes.
Alex has huge potential. We were talking about that more than a year ago before that. He's all frame, and that's how he's not long in arm wrestling.
No, he's like 6 years or something.
Yeah, with some breaks between, and then he's just getting better and better, and all that coordination and strength, and his frame and size and understanding about arm wrestling is improving a lot. And definitely he has a chance to be, or he's already somewhere in that top. We don't know really, but
he's up there.
He's definitely has a chance to be one of best as well.
Yeah, big potential.
Yeah,
huge. I mean, so that's the other thing. Is the time of a guy my size being well known in the world, is that past? Because we are in a land of giants, you know. Now Levant's the same height as me, but he's just 100 pounds bigger, right? Then you got Vitali, 6'8", you know, Devin 6'6", Gerdetcha same, you know. I mean, even Derek Smith's a huge human being. Derek Smith's a big kid, you know. So you just don't know that super heavyweight class.
Yeah, it's different.
No, I mean, Hermes is the same height as me. Well, actually, he's a little bit shorter than me, but he's big now. He's 130 kg. He's big boy.
A lot of pizza and pasta.
Yeah, but his hand and wrist are so strong. But that's the thing about Hermes is the reason he was so dominated by Gerdetcha is Hermes doesn't have a lot of defense. He has a very good offense.
Yeah.
He just does not have very good
That
defense.
breaks.
Yeah, if he doesn't have this, he doesn't really have a lot of options. So I think that's going to be the problem. It's like when someone depends so much on their hand and wrist, and they crush all these people until they find someone that's got a better hand and wrist, and then there's shit. You know, and that's kind of where he's at. So he would have to, in my opinion, he would have to develop a whole lot more defense and options after losing his main weapon before he could be number one in the world. Because I think he's going to run into trouble with long levers.
Yeah, someone who neutralizes the hand and beat them somewhere else.
Yeah.
Beat them somewhere else.
But he does. I mean, he's still a smaller frame guy. I mean, when I say smaller frame, he's my size, right? Or a little bit smaller. You know what I mean. So I just don't know if there is going to be someone in my category of frame that can be the number one guy in the world, unless you have an amazing Kingsman, which is what I'm getting back to. And so I don't think. Yes, I think there's a blueprint out there to beat a King's move, but I don't think there's a blueprint out there to beat the most efficient King's move, and I haven't been using the most efficient.
But
King's
in
move.
training, in practices with Corey, you practice your King's move?
Not at all.
But you should.
I know. Thanks. Yes, I should. Yes, I should. I should practice
Because
all that.
it's like your move when you don't have anything which is working for you, but you should as a prime move.
Yeah. People are like, so how do you train your King's move? I've never trained a King's move in my life. I train the top row, and if I get stretched out, I just don't quit. But I have to because it used to be extremely efficient. Because it was, like you said, it was my option. You know, it was because all my matches were high level, so it was immediate King's move. Well, then I didn't feel like I had to have it, and then I got criticized for it. So then I started getting up higher, and I started doing other shit.
Well, you did very well with HAP.
That's the thing. It was not really a King's move even. I was watching. I said like, okay, you don't even need to.
But it was. I beat him here. I won that
you
game.
You had hand control. You were able to get on his rotator. You had riser. You were in control.
But that was before the nerve damage. That's before, I mean, so it's just we go through phases. You know, we go through phases. So I just gotta. I think a lot of things were a detriment for me last year. So the loss to Devin was unexpected, and then COVID, fucking damn near killed me.
I believe
you know what I'm saying?
After.
And then the nerve damage. I lost my riser, lost my pronation. But then I did that whole tour, arm wrestling people like this. So I got this strength back, and then I thought that this was back, and I don't think it's all the way back. So it's just going back home and just going back to the fundamentals. But I do think I want to get back to heavy curling. Well, it's all fixable. Everything that we're talking about is fixable if I'm willing to put in the work. right? That's what it comes down to.
I think
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're willing to put in the work and you find
we'll
it,
come to Arkansas.
there you go. So are you really coming to Arkansas? Or are you full of shit?
We'll try to figure it out.
Okay, so maybe they'll come to Arkansas. They're gonna be in Arizona, which almost has the same abbreviation, but
Yeah.
people confuse us.
It sounds like it's somewhere near.
Yeah.
Because we were thinking like, where's my hey, something day.
Well, good deal. Well, yeah, hey, good times, guys. Sorry we didn't get to do any pulling or anything, but I was really tired last night. But you come to Arkansas, though. For real.
That's what we do.
Yeah. We can have some fun, though. I mean, there's a possibility that I do a pay-per-view event April 30th.
That's just.
There's a possibility,
Yeah.
you know, so if you guys want a super match the next week as well.
That's an interesting. That's like
It is an interesting one, right?
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
Jeff Hell's only 4 hours from me. I don't
He's
know.
still injured.
I don't know
But
if
he
he's
does left arm.
Maybe he wants a rematch.
See? So pull Corey 1 week, pull Jeff the next week. That's good.